Hi, my name is Michelle, and I'm going to be doing my project on cultural factors and health disparities with autism spectrum disorder. Some health concerns for people with autism is they may not be going to the doctors regularly. They could also transmit diseases or infections such as COVID-19 or the flu because they're unaware. They might not be wearing masks because they can't deal with the texture. They could have a self-care deficit because of autism, leading to health problems. People with autism have a higher rate of diseases, heart problems, depression, blood pressure, high blood pressure, dental issues, just overall anything with self-care if they're not taking care of themselves properly. They have a risk for self-harm because of their social, neurological, and cognitive deficit. They might have a disturbed personal identity, and they have more psychiatric conditions. They have a risk for harm to or by others when they're in a mental breakdown or episode. There was a child that got shot by a police officer here in Utah when he was in a mental breakdown. And then we have cultural environment, the media. The way media portrays people with autism spectrum disorder varies. So there is a short film called Loop, which portrays a nonverbal little girl with autism and a bubbly boy on a canoeing adventure. There was another one called Float that shows the father's experience with the autistic child, where the son defines gravity. Hollywood has been criticized for the way that they portray autism spectrum disorder because they do not show all ends of the spectrum. In The Big Bang Theory and Good Doctor, they show the character as having these amazing abilities, but it's only true in about 10% of cases. I also watched a series on autism. It was called Love on the Spectrum, and it had adults with autism trying to find love. And it really helped me to see how everyone on the spectrum is different and how no person presents exactly the same. My brother has autism, so it was just interesting to see just every person is different, but there were some similarities that my brother had to each person on this show. Family support. Family support plays a major role in this population, and it can depend on their level of spectrum how much support they might need from their family. They might need assistance from their family or from a caregiver if it's severe. So at the first level of the spectrum, they can be highly functioning with few impairments, and then other people can be at the end of the spectrum with restricting behaviors and developmental issues, speech, walking, self-care. They might have psychiatric conditions, so they might need more help. Role of peers. So peers need to understand that they act a certain way because they have autism disorder. People with autism disorder can be blunt. They say what's on their mind even if it might not be appropriate. They want things a certain way or it will bother them and make them angry. So we need to educate people on autism and why they act this way. It's not because they mean to, it's just because of their condition. My brother has autism, and he would say a lot of rude, blunt things to me, and I never understood why. I never understood why he had to have his food not touching at all times. I never understood why he didn't want to drive at 16 years old like me. Just things like that. You really need to educate people and have them understand that this is because of their autism and that's the way that they are. Cyclical nature. Autism can run in family because of genes. People with autism spectrum disorder can still have families and children if they decide to. On the show Love on the Spectrum, they're talking about having kids, so they can do that. It may not always be passed on to their children. I know that autism didn't run in my family at all, but my brother still is on the spectrum. He's on the low end, but he still presents a lot of the characteristics of autism. Legal and political systems. So they do need to have insurance and health care, Medicare and Medicaid to cover costs. It can be difficult if they don't have insurance to find that care. And depending on the severity, they may need guardianship from their parents after 18. It honestly just depends on the person and on how severe it is, because some people may be able to live on their own. It honestly completely depends on the level they are on the spectrum. Also, they might need assistance from Social Security, and then education and resources from the community. Potential barriers. So people might they might feel uncomfortable out in public. People might be uncomfortable around them. They might feel safer just being alone in their room. They might have tics that they can't control, and they might be worried what others may think about them. A taboo I found about autism is that it's thought of as a cancer or dementia, and that families would want to hide their children and not discuss the child with other members in the family. That is something of the past, and it's starting to definitely shift from that a lot. Some people believe that autistic person cannot be religious because they lack self-choice, but there was a study that proved it to be untrue, and I'll talk about that more later. Regions of the world population is shunned. So in Africa, people with disabilities such as autism were kind of looked at as a liability. There was a study done that showed how this is now changing, and they had improvement in economic success, education, and training. So that is being shifted as well. And then in Egypt, they're looked at as having a curse. So it's looked as kind of a curse, but this also is shifting too, which I'll talk about later. All right, families with a higher socioeconomic status and education seek services for children with autism spectrum disorder. There was a study that showed that they had a higher drive to get help for their children. The families with higher socioeconomic status had insurance, and then they had more funds to support them. The lower income families believed that they could not help the child or make an impact in the child's condition, which can be a barrier related to the help that they may need. It can be expensive to get all the support, but there are a lot of different places to get support for the child with autism. Race and ethnicity. Race can be a factor because if they don't speak English, they may think that they cannot get help. They may think that they're unable to get any resources. They may not want to go to the hospital, or may not want to go talk to anyone about it because they think, oh, I can't talk to people, they won't understand me. But there are resources out there, and there are translators. And then there was a study that showed that racial/ethical minority families had an increased need for physical therapy, speech, and occupational therapy, but a fewer need for prescription medications. All right. Religion. In Egyptian culture, autism can be viewed as a curse. This is starting to change with time because one of the leader's grandsons had autism, and so now there's more of an understanding. Also, their choices on religion are dependent really on what they believe. There was a study done on Christian religion and autism, and it really just depends on what they believe. It's it's their sense of self, but it's also what they believe to be right. Gender. Gender is a main factor with autism because the prevalence for boys is 4 times higher than girls. Most of the time, girls get diagnosed a lot later in life than boys do. Watching Love on the Spectrum, a lot of the girls got diagnosed when they were older, some at 19. My friend has autism, and she was diagnosed only 2 years ago, and she's 26 now, and I never even knew she had autism. But this can be difficult because they don't know why they act a certain way, and it can really be hard for them if they don't know that early on. Geographic location. There are people with autism all over the world. Some rural areas might not have the same resources as others. Utah does have a lot of resources for autism spectrum disorder available, but not all places are like Utah. Utah also has the highest, it has a surveillance system for autism, so we have higher rates because we've been able to have a system to look at who has autism. Telehealth can play a part by talking to parents about children with ASD and assisting them. Implicit and explicit biases. Implicit biases, basically saying that they don't need additional help or accommodation, saying that the autistic person is just the same as everyone else. Explicit biases, such as you baby them too much. I know my mom's got this one from my family, saying that she babies my brother too much. They need to do things for themselves. You're too stressed about them, just things like that. We really need to change these biases, get a better understanding of people with autism. Regions with less influence. There may be regions that have less influence with the autistic community, and it really just depends on the location. In the United States, there are many organizations for autism. There's also the Autism International Foundation. So it really just depends on where you are, but there is a lot of foundations, associations, and academies and help for autism. Those are my references.